All right, you made it to another Unloose the Goose. And as always, I'm trying to drive some tech here. There we go. You got Brian, a.k.a. at Scrambling out here in Seattle, joined by, I forgot you're on the other side, the illustrious Patricia, our non-attorney friend. And since this was going to be East meets West for a conversation, we've got Xavier hanging in with us from Miami down there, bringing in the East Coast, and Dowie in New Hampshire, and he will be jumping on shortly. Right on. Well, welcome to the show. What are you guys drinking, smoking, consuming, whatever?
I've got myself some tea.
All right. I have my favorite brand of ginger beer, which I always joke about. The only supply chain shortage that's bothering me is the damn ginger beer that I can't find. So it's Cock and Bull, if anybody is wondering. But yeah,
Cock and Bull.
It's called what?
Yeah, it has a rooster
Cock
and
and balls? For real?
Yeah, Cock and Balls. No, Cock and Bull.
Cock and Bull.
Yeah. Oh, Cock and Bull. Oh.
That was like when that Balls energy drink came out. Oh my God, there were all those drinks.
I know the guy who. Yeah.
You know that guy?
I know that guy.
Oh my God,
he's a local down here in South Florida.
He's a maniac.
Yeah.
I love it.
I went to More Coffee, and always that day tripper. Woof, it is good. And I almost ate some chocolate since we were going to go round 2X. But I decided I had to run technology, so I would not do that.
Yeah, probably best not to.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so in case anybody
what are we
missed
talking about today, guys?
Yeah, the morning show. Well, I want to bring up my Bitcoin index really quickly because everybody that didn't tune into Scrambling University, it's such a tiny fraction of people. Okay, so the big guys control a lot of things by controlling narrative, by just picking the words. Why do you think they want control of all the schools and the kids and get them young? If you can inject thought, you could words, right? They're spells. So let's take control of the narrative. If we want people to stop thinking in U.S. government fiat, all we have to do is stop talking in it. People will start to think about what they hear and see all the time. So, breaking news from the front. Ether today is trading at 13.9 to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is trading at 133 to 1. Litecoin 338 to 1, and Dash is 393 to 1. Right? So that lets us all know what we've got stashed in our wallets, how much Bitcoin we can get for that, or how close we are to buying another Bitcoin for saving for our long-term generational family wealth, right? But we need to also inject crypto thinking into everyday life. So instead of having a home price index or a whatever, we need a commodities index. So I came up with the farm truck index. So today you can get a base model 22 Ford F-150 for 1.05 Bitcoin. Costs you about 14.5 Ether, 141 Bitcoin Cash, 357 Litecoin, or 415 Dash. Boom.
There you go.
I'll just start using the market report, farm truck index, and Patty and I just found a source for 1 pound grass-fed beef USDA monthly average. So we'll have a good, consistent number for a low end. And I wanted to do real human diet food, not sugar, not bullshit stuff. I wanted to do it on a commodity that we should be encouraging to eat. If we're going to make a focus of our index, people will be thinking about it, more likely to move towards it. Let's make it something humans should eat. So
So I made one. Like, get it to work here. So this is the F350 Index. Little reflective here. That's a little more Bitcoin.
Not me. Shit.
It's
sorry.
No, and then I also did an index for my next. That is Patricia's show horse index. that I'm saving up for. So
there you go.
It's just changing your thinking. Like, I need this many Bitcoin to do this thing instead of I need this many dollars to do this thing.
Yes. And
Right.
how much of what that I got stashed can I trade into that thing to trade with you for the shores, right?
Exactly.
No more fiat. Stop it. And if you have to use fiat in a conversation regarding crypto, pick not US fiat. Talking lira.
I know a woman
franc.
who's got a big show and a big following, and what she's been doing is been pushing Cash Friday, right? The more that people can be using cash on a specific day or whatever, it's sort of like a indicator in the market of, look, they want to get us onto a digital dollars, and they want to get us in a digital blockchain system where we lose all of our identity and all of this and lose our privacy. And so she's recognizing that and seeing that, like, the control state becomes even more effective with all of these technologies. So go back to cash, put the brakes on this headlong rush into regulated crypto and regulated society. So that's another option too.
Yeah, I'm a fan of. I've been on the Dave Ramsey plan for 20 years, so I'm used to cash in envelopes and actually paying bills with something real. I would much rather be dropping silver in people's hands, but they won't take it.
So, like, I know we're getting there, and I think Firon is gonna get there, but like, I like my one credit card for the points because I travel a lot. And it would be so cool if we could, for the places that take crypto. I was traveling in, where the heck was I? I must have been in Austin. And some of the I was in Charlotte. And some of the restaurants have a QR code on the front door that says you can pay in Bitcoin. And I was like, absolutely, I will pay you in Bitcoin.
Yeah. So, about your travel, about like, so the cards, I don't know how this works, and I haven't really delved into it, but if you use, let's say it's a Visa card, or is it through a specific bank, or is it through a specific airline, and they give you airline miles? Like, how does that work?
It can be any of those. So if you're going to gather points, the best way to do it is like pick an airline and be loyal. So like, I'm at an Alaska Airlines hub. So I don't have the Alaska Airlines card now because I'm using an American Express card that's functionally the same. But it's 1 point for every dollar you spend. But then there's and then you get quadruple points on gas or whatever. Because
why don't you move that to a crypto card?
Yeah, I would love to, but it doesn't give you the return yet.
Yeah. Cash App.
Points.
If you Cash App a debit card right now, what you spend on the Cash App debit card, they give you back in Bitcoin. For your 3% back, you get 3%. The percentage back in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Cash App has
Venmo.
Cash App. Venmo just debuted. There's 2. I do not know what the returns are on the Venmo one, but I need to look at it. Coinbase. Coinbase has a credit card now that gives you like 2 or 3% in Bitcoin for every dollar you spend, which is great. And so if we could get it to there, like my Amex, like I get a lot of, like, if my baggage gets lost, they write me a check for $500 or whatever I say was in there. I mean, if my rental car gets totaled, they take care of it. So
Firon will be a processor, won't it?
So what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, this is really inspiring for me because it's like, I haven't even thought about airline miles. Like, how do we get airline miles back? The 2 to 3% thing back, like that's easy. That's easy to do. Like, I've already been thinking about that. But then, these other amenities, like your luggage gets stolen or lost, like these little things I've never really thought about. And they are actually market movers. People really pay attention to those kinds of things.
Dowie.
What's up? Hold on.
Well, look, if you think
who am I?
People that have to spend money because you're on an expense account, because Patty travels a lot for work because she has to go run around and do all the meetings. Yep. So you have to spend the money. If you could just choose to spend it through a channel that would siphon off the good for
that you get more back for.
And I can spend it wherever I want because part of my deal, like part of my if you want me to work for you deal, is I get to charge on my own accounts and expense it because I am not giving you my free miles. So that's part of my
No, I negotiated that in my last deal too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use company card because yeah.
So it's a big deal because sometimes you get into a job and you think you're not going to travel that much, and then you do, and now you're charging it to the company's card, and they're getting all your miles, all your bonuses, and all your
the
labor,
benefits, right?
all the benefits. No, expense it. Charge it yourself and get reimbursed.
So unpack that. Let me repeat that back to make sure I'm understanding it. So you work for a company, and normally, or not normally, but many times they would give you a company card and say,
That's
okay,
right.
here's for your expenses, for your travel, for all of that. But if you're traveling a lot, it's like, no, you want to expense it onto your own account, so that you can actually keep the miles and all of that, plus get the reimbursement from the company. What would be the solution then if you were a cooperative corporation that you owned part of the corporation? Because I'm thinking like on a Fire On card, it'd be easy to give you all of those benefits back, and then also have the added benefit of we put our profits, the company's profits, into a pool, and we all decide how to use them together. But to add on these other benefits, it just seems to like make a whole lot of sense. So how would that work for a cooperative? Let's say you own the corporation that you worked for. Would you still want your own card, or would you expense it on the company card? Because I'm thinking, as part of the benefits of being part of Fire On, and this discussion is just sparking it now, is that what if the company, could pay for a lot of your travel? Because now it's your company, right? You're part of the company. It's part yours. So how to do expenses like that? Like where's the benefit and trade-off?
That's better because,
and this I think is important for the community because it gets us to think. Sorry, go ahead.
It is a trade-off. So one of the things you want to think about too is if you're the company and you're paying for travel directly, that is a tax write-off for you for sure. I am not, if I'm getting reimbursed as an employee, I'm not taxed on that because I'm spending my already taxed money.
Well, you wouldn't always be an employee, right? You would actually be it would be your company that you could expense.
So if you're an owner, you want the company to pay for your travel because then your company is being taxed less. And then you can pass those savings on to your shareholders. Yeah.
Especially so you can distribute.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we had in part of the cooperative network deals with certain airlines, then we could get those miles and to you directly instead of to the corporation.
Yeah, and so the way miles work, so the way airline miles work is you get your miles regardless of who paid for the plane ticket. That's your name, personal name, and your mileage rewards number. It's the credit card points that are kind of up for grabs. So yeah, so it's the credit card points but
you can donate miles too.
You can, yeah.
That's a huge
thing.
Donate
miles. You can transfer them. Yeah, you sure can.
I saw a guy on TikTok and he was showing people how to get like $20,000 vacations for like 4 or 5 using miles. And instead of buying the plane ticket, he would go buy the miles from these secondary markets, then turn around and use the miles because it's like
I used to sell Alaska Airline first class upgrades, totally illegal, but fuck them. They threw me off their airline for life, so they can suck a dick, Alaska Airlines. So I used to get these upgrades
hypothetically.
And Craigslist them. I never actually did it for sure. Oh, wink, wink. But yeah, Craigslist the shit out of them. I was in alleys giving away first class flight coupons. Oh my fucking god! Yeah, great source of secondary revenue.
So the deal is at the end of the year, Southwest and Alaska both run point sales where you can buy the points for like 50% off or whatever.
Arbitrage them.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of ways, and like so cool for Fire On, right? Because we could even pool points. We have a points pool and be like, oh my God, something happened. Somebody needs to go somewhere. Bam, you're there.
Right. Or even for healthcare too, right? We'd be able to provide a healthcare service privately as a company, as part of, there's so many benefits when you become a cooperative owner of something. There's so many tax incentives and benefits.
Oh, yeah. REI
it's what we were talking about earlier.
John, do you use miles?
John?
Hey, what's up? Sorry.
Hey,
I was on mute. I was on mute because I'm coughing, but I put out this hat today and I realized, who am I? Who do I look like? Kinda. I just want to say one thing. Smash the like and subscribe button. Anyway, sorry. I just put this friggin' hat on yesterday and I realized I look like Tim Pool. And the only thing I've ever heard that guy say is smash the like and subscribe button. And then I turn him off because I hate that. But anyway, I use some miles. Yeah. But, only recently I've started living in this world because up until about a year ago, my credit was a absolute dumpster fire. So I cleared that out last year and I got some credit cards that give me that. So I have like a JetBlue card and I get some miles from them. And I have a hotels.com card. This is interesting. So for every $5,000 I spend, which is a lot, but whatever, right? For some people, I get a free night in a hotel. So like that, I use quite a bit. I don't know if this is right along the lines of what you're asking, but like when I went to
if you're passing business expenses through your card,
I filter all
beneficial to you.
Yeah, I filter all that crap through those cards now. Then I have another card that I get free groceries from. So when I go buy diapers and groceries, I get like $100 off. But the hotels, when I went
incredible.
To Spirco's, yeah, it's great. When I went to Spirco's, I didn't pay for a hotel. They were all free nights, and that's nice. Yeah, it's like $250, $300 worth of whatever at least, right?
And it drives the IRS fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a non-taxable asset.
Yeah, no, the only lately because we incorporated last year at the beginning of the year, and
IRS, be good to me.
Well, yeah, we incorporated for interesting different reasons. So I'm no longer the owner of that Dowie farm. My wife is. She's
female-owned company.
51% female-owned company. So we can sell to Encore Boston or whatever if we ever get around to doing that. And I'm the treasurer or something. So
nice.
Yeah, but so I don't know how all that works with taxes because like I'm buying soil with like a JetBlue card or something like that, and then I got to pay that not business card with business money. So it's like. You know what I mean? I got to figure that out because I'm sure.
You'll figure it out at the end of the year.
I'm sure that could bite me in the ass. Yeah, it looks like I'm paying myself all that money, and I'm not. But like, I'm sure there's papers I can file with myself.
Aren't taxable, but if it looks like it's income, that's real bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, like
it will become income, and they're
I worked
in Social Security on it.
I worked in restaurants long enough to know, like, if you send the guy to the store to get mayonnaise, you could petty cash that, and you could file the receipt, blah, 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 blah. So like that money comes out of the business. It doesn't look like we paid, Joe, the line cook, $4.50 for mayonnaise. He bought mayonnaise. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there's
just
whatever
flows through the employee.
Yeah. But I have 3 cards. I filter everything through. And except for Walmart and Amazon, I get 5% off when I use their stupid cards. So I use those too. But
is that helping you get some idea, X, about how spongeable and what the
I love this, right?
Looks
because,
like.
Yeah. No, I love this.
You need to know the shape of the curve.
Spirco actually does this with the Member Support Brigade, right?
Yeah.
He's got the membership, and it becomes like an exclusive buyers club, and there's so many benefits that we can make for that.
Yeah, I buy seeds from any seed from them through his thing, and I probably save $400, $500 a year because I buy 3-4 different kinds of seeds from them that only they have that are for what I need or whatever, and it works. I don't use much more of it, but because some of them are, in today's day and age of Amazon, it's like sometimes instead of buying from that local buyer, you can just save way more money on Amazon, and it makes it, you really got to make a tough decision sometimes to spend $28 more on something. You know what I mean? But obviously, it's better to support them.
Yes.
What was that? What was
that? Who's got the spook?
That was. I accidentally connected with my CIA contact.
That's right.
We got to throw a couple of COVIDs and some shot language in here too,
Yeah.
right? Whose channel are we on?
So here's the next level. Okay. Ready? Here's the next level. Because Dowie said credit scores, which always, like, I hate that word trigger, but it triggers the shit out of me because they're a scam and they make me angry. Once you get your co-op and you have these things coming in and out, then you actually can become your own, I don't want to say bank, but your own financing mechanism for communities that want to be self-determinative and get the F out of the system. Now we're getting into crypto lending and staking and like
that's right.
The credit score. Like that's like, okay, here's my example. I have literally been paying the same amount for my housing for like 10 years, maybe 20, give or take a couple $100. And when I go to get a mortgage, they're like, well, you don't know. You've never missed a payment in 20 years. We're not sure, you know.
Yeah.
What? Like, you got a lot of student loans. Well, yeah, fuckers, because you made college unattainable and then sold people a bill of goods, which was bullshit, which was fraud. But yeah, anytime we can circumvent the credit scoring system and get out of that, which is going to be the social credit system, yay. And so Firon, all of these systems have great potential for this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important that we build a system of cooperation that we can all agree on, at least the basic premises, and then build from, right? And that it serves us, and not becomes a harvesting mechanism.
Yep.
Right. When you're putting money into the thing because you're investing in it, your goal shouldn't be to get maximum return. Well, it should be to maximize return, right? But you have to think about it like externalities. What are the positive other returns I'm getting other than just the flow back? Right? I invest Bitcoin. I'm going to get Bitcoin plus X back. Meh. But maybe like 3 more families aren't going to be roaming the street looking to break into my car. And like maybe like someone's going to college, or maybe somebody got their kid out of the effing school system, right? So investing in community, you have to look at the total return, right? And it's, think about the old days. You had to do evil shit to get enough money, like Carnegie Mellon, right? To then feel bad about it, to then go spend it back. Like, let's just skip the middle part. How about just like be happy with the shit you have? You're alive. You got food. It's not raining on you. Somewhat warm. Enough. Moving on.
Well, back.
What was that study? What was that study? Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, in the days of community banks, you went in and you said, "Hey, I want to buy this farmhouse," and they said, "Yeah, you've been a part of the community for a long time. You take care of business, and that looks like a good farm. And here's your money." I mean, that was it. It wasn't like you missed a $30 payment in 25 years ago, and so we're gonna what? You know, like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where
the dehumanization. There are ways to.
Yeah, go. Oh, that's what I think about Firon, right? You can personalize like an identity that doesn't necessarily have to be your legal state name, but you can have enough credibility by doing things and interacting long enough with real people in the real world, who 50 people on there that are your buddies are like, "God damn right, that's a real person, and for sure he'll pay that back." Boom, funded.
Well,
right?
You know,
they shut him down.
Right when he goes to say cool shit every time.
X,
you're breaking up, man.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. So the idea.
Here, I'm going to see if I can shut your video.
Give me
off.
1 second. You guys talk amongst yourself. I want to make sure that nobody's streaming in the house right now.
Okay. Yeah, because all I can turn off is your mic. I can't turn off your video to clean up
the kid. He's gonna go in, and the kid's gonna be watching Ice Age or something. On 4 different phones. That's why I do it from my office, man. I pay way too much for good internet here because I used to pay like $50 for decent internet. And then over the course of 7 years, they've slowly raised it, right? Yeah, now I pay $150 just for internet at this place.
Computer, stop the music.
Business class bullshit, so I can generate invoices.
I'm sorry.
So I'm like, I'm streaming from there, damn it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much it's gone up. Well, now though, you notice the super cheap all-inclusive is all the 5G, where they want to put the block thing in the house. Like,
oh yeah.
That just hit Seattle. Yeah, that was part of the show too, is East-West. What the hell is going on? Our 5G is coming on, and they're pushing it hard on TV 24/7 out here now.
I don't really know. I don't know shit about it. I just know that like maybe I'll get reception at my house now. Like but I don't really know. Like I live in a weird spot where they're not gonna push like everybody has that thing that feeds off of each other because
Oh,
we're
the
like too
mesh.
rural for that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The routers all talk to each other. Yeah. Shit, they turned that on. I forgot a couple months ago.
Yep.
You can turn it off.
Did they turn it off?
You can do it off on your own device. You can be like, no.
I liked it on the screen. I'm right next to X because he's always looking classy. And I'm just like, I haven't combed my hair in 3 days.
Well, no, the beauty is, right, we got East Coast on the bottom. You got Northeast, and then you got Miami.
Yeah, right. I said that earlier. I said, oh, we're doing some East Coast, West Coast thing. And it's perfect because X is down in Florida somewhere, I think. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like halfway through the saying that. I was like, shit, am I exposing him? And then I'm up here.
No, it's all good. I'm down in Florida. It's all good.
I'm up here in New Hampshire. And you guys are Seattle or something? Well, I say that, but I don't.
Seattle-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X, what were you going to say before you got spooked?
Well, I realized it's 5 o'clock and it's like on a timer here. All the internet, everybody comes home and all of a sudden it's like bandwidth crazy. So, and it's not just my family; it's like the whole block. So I just switched to cellular.
Everyone gets out of work and it's over.
Correct. Yeah, everything just gets clogged up. But I was saying, like with the cooperative system, there's just a lot of advantages that we can do when we take all of those like consumer buyers club thought and put it all together. And then the personalization, right? So we have a loan for our farm through a cooperative, and they like got to know us. They asked us about our family. It was like getting to know a family because they're like inviting us into their business, and they call I know them, like we have a personal relationship. Now there are benefits to that. And if we can incorporate that and pay people micro payments as part of their job to represent new people, walk in new people, get to know them, build personal relationships, like that's what we need as a society, a mechanism to build these personal relationships that are not being addressed in like the regular course of business. Everybody's commodifying one another instead of personalizing, right?
Yep.
So you can't scale that, but we can if we do it properly and decentralize it.
That's super interesting.
Yeah,
I feel like we could spend a whole show asking him about that cooperative.
Well, I don't want to
not today.
Show.
No, but sometime I think it's very. I don't even know how much you can talk about, but it's like that sparked a massive amount of interest in my mind.
Well, think about it, right? If we can have like a mechanism that we all decide to play in together, governments have been the way that we've done it. Right. Yep. It's like, okay, we all have some mutual self-interest, and that's like the continuation and prosperity of our families together is better than, trying to survive on our own. But then, then you get bad actors, people who are like, I will take more from the community because they're trusting and I can get away with it, frankly.
Yep.
Right. But if we hold a strong line of accountability, people don't get away with it. But we can also like really decentralize the operations. Like we could run a government now with everybody's effing input, just organized properly, but it's not done that way. And that's what allows all these bad actors and really despicable people to get in the reins of power and really screw everything up for everybody else. Too much power in anyone. That's exactly it. Like we could Dow the fuck out of this.
I fucking said that like 5 years ago. I was like, why don't we just automate these assholes? Like get them all the fuck out of there. We got blockchain. It could be fully audited. Like, and I'm not the Bitcoin guy. I don't know shit. Right. But I know that we can fully audit that shit, and you can't fully audit anything right now. Get them all out, automate the whole thing, like put some fail safes in. So it's not just mob rule.
That's the problem, right? And you just nailed it. Like if so there are a lot of companies out there or projects or groups, whatever, trying to automate a lot of shit. And what ends up happening is then humans have to live to that code instead of that code serving humans. So there has to be like that checks and balances where there is human oversight of the machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deus ex machina or whatever. The God has to be in the machine. It can't be the other way around. Otherwise, we become the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's basic human rights that everyone's born with as a guideline, right? So if you want to pass a law that I can murder anybody with red hair, instantly not allowed, right?
Yeah.
Duh. And then obviously that's a super extreme example. And then beyond that, it's like, do we want to invade fucking Poland? No. Like, yes or no. And then you can go ahead and of course, we could probably easily argue on this show that that's violating human rights, but I'm just using this as an example. Do we want a treaty with a country, right, or something like that?
Right.
Everybody can just vote on that shit.
Do we want to build a garden? Do we want to spend $1 million of our profits in like fighting Monsanto, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah, it's so easy. That's why they'll never do it.
Yeah, but also they're afraid of Bodie McBoatface. Like even the founding fathers of the United States were afraid of us. The rabble, the unwashed masses. Like they want the illusion of democracy so that people will be docile. But when you educate the people, like what if there was a thing called Bodie McBoatface, or in Scotland they have all of their snow plows named, and all of these crazy names because they let the internet name them all, and they've got these ridiculous fun names, but it's like that's culture, that's fun, that's what ties us together. Like,
well, I always say, just to kind of wrap that up, I guess on my end, like I'm just some dumbass duck farmer that dropped out of high school. If I can figure it out in 5 fucking minutes, they just don't want to do it. That's all it is. Like if I can solve a major problem in 5 minutes, it's not that they can't, it's that they won't. And that's
I literally know of people at very high positions with established families that are actively preventing good things from happening because it doesn't benefit them, direct them, and keep them on top of the hill.
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
sunny
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
The funniest thing. So the head of the Chamber of Commerce, right, for out here, at the farmers market, comes up and says like, yeah, this is a bedroom community. We need way more cool stuff to happen down here. We gotta there's no life down here. It's all this corporate bullshit. I was like, right. And you talk to the mayor all the fucking time. The only problem is the rules. Like, make less of them. Like, just allow, like, this is a parking lot. If 8 guys pull up in vans and start serving food, instead of sending the cops to rabble-rouse them, come and buy shit from them. That's all you have to do is do nothing. Like,
that's the other benefit of having a private corporation that we all own. Then it becomes a private place, and we can be like, cops, stay out. We can have our own security.
Right. Yeah. Oversight. Like, people have to be okay with things not looking perfect and shiny and orderly all the time, right? A little chaos, some Bodie McBoatface doesn't hurt anything, right? let people have a say, and it will. Law of large numbers, right? If you gamble at all, you look at the bets right before the fucking thing goes off, where the money's laid. Like, there is collective intelligence, right? How do you harvest it?
Yeah, well, West Coast update, we're gonna have to figure that out. I mean, Seattle laid off like 300 cops or some nonsense because they wouldn't get jabbed, and so now I'm like pretty suburban. Every night for 2 weeks, we've had a car stolen, a garage broken into.
Wow.
I was watching some LA TV the other day, and
wait, let her finish. I wanted her to finish her thought.
So check this out. I live on a dead-end cul-de-sac off another dead-end cul-de-sac off a dead-end hill road in the middle of the woods. Okay? Oh. So we are having every single night car stolen, break-ins, lawn shit missing. We had somebody suspicious approach a kid yesterday, which now has me like this, right?
Wow, yeah.
And I am like in one of the safest places on the West Coast, period. We're going to have to figure this out right now.
Can't you shoot people there?
Just tripled its population.
Okay.
They
that was a
triple
serious
the
question.
cop shop.
Yeah. So people are going to have to, I knew the neighbors next to me and across from me. We know everybody now. And
that's good. And you make like a group, meet regularly, figure out like, we're going to police ourselves. Like we're literally, so everybody's like, oh, it's just one day it's going to happen that we're in fucking Mad Max. And that's not how it's going to be. Like Jack was talking about the trucker convoys, right? And he's like, expect this more. Jack by Jack Spear, I mean, and he's right. It's just going to be this like long grinding, slow, and if you're quick and understand what's going on and are not afraid of what everybody thinks about you or whatever, then you start adapting, right? Nobody liked Noah before the flood, and then they were all his best friend, and nobody got on the boat, right? So yeah, you got to keep moving. Figure that out.
That's what you were saying about the cops, Patty, though. They were advertising on LATV the other day for poaching LA cops up to Seattle for like a big kicker, huge. Like they're literally
probably not.
But they're
probably not hard to do.
They literally the town I live in is closer to the city than Patty, and Candace was reading me the cop shop report just from last night, and it was just a string of shootings, So they figured out the ratios have flipped, and some scores are getting set down in lowlands. Scores are getting settled. I think up in your area, it's hunting for good shit because you live with the good shit.
Yeah, they're hunting up here because everybody's like, oh, well, you're from California. Of course you had all your shit locked up. I'm like, of course I had all my shit locked up. Like, what?
Wow. It
right
sounds
now,
like, a difficult situation. Sorry, go ahead, Don.
Oh, what? Right now,
what do you got from the Northeast? Is it like situation normal? What's going on?
If you went to my house right now, literally, I have 4 vehicles. One isn't there because I'm here. The keys in the ignition, fucking house is unlocked, garage is unlocked. But I split all my firewood in the front yard, on purpose. And if you do get into the house, I hope that both you and the dog realize you're both in the house at the same fucking time. Because good luck with your limbs. So I don't really worry about shit. Like, we have a pretty good community where I'm at as far as crime goes. Occasionally something comes up missing. I hear that reported. If you get downtown Derry, New Hampshire, if you want to call it that, shit gets stolen here and there. There's meth and heroin now, right? That's something that's a reality in the world we live in. And, so that contributes a lot to this stuff. If you get into Manchester, New Hampshire, there's homeless encampments now in the park and stuff. And basically I tell my wife, like, don't you dare deliver down there without your gun, whatever, because it's getting hairy in that town. And, obviously I'm not blanketing. That's where the crime comes from. I've talked to several people that live in that area and they're fine, but that is still where that's going to come from. We're seeing more and more of that here. Obviously nothing like you guys probably see, like you were moving from California, less homeless people here because we get 2 feet of snow. It kind of keeps it a little in check, I guess. But the cities here, even New Hampshire, any city in New Hampshire we might as well just donate it to fucking Massachusetts. It's really just the same thing. And the smaller towns like where I live are fine. And I don't know. I never lock a vehicle, really. Like, so yeah.
How far out are you from a big city?
Even at the store or something. I leave my truck running and go into the supermarket for 40 minutes because it's cold.
Wow.
I just freaking leave it running. And it's fine when I come out.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't
it's
happen
there.
here,
Nobody steals it. Yeah, no, I mean, I think about that a lot because I lived in Rhode Island in Providence for a while, and that was like
the AC.
Yeah.
What's that?
But,
run the AC.
Yeah.
Run the air conditioning. I used to do that when I was in California.
Someone stole the AC.
Oh no.
No,
that's unacceptable.
Imagine.
So we've got a pretty lively neighborhood here. It's pretty amazing to me. Like, it's such a diverse community, and everybody just kind of comes together. Like, during the hurricane, they had patrols. People were walking around, like driving around on their golf carts and making sure. And it's like an unincorporated part of Palm Beach. So unincorporated from Delray, and just like the sheriff's, the county polices it. So we're sort of off where the county mostly is, right? So a lot of people are patrolling themselves down here. We've got a lot of car break-ins, and then a community watch formed, right? And like everybody got together and started like, and this is the middle of Florida. I'm like, what? And it's cray-cray down here. Like, we have Florida man like everywhere, right? One of the guys during the hurricane, there was this group of people who came through and trying to like scope the neighborhood out. Homeboy was like drunk one night, and he came out and he made the Uber driver get out of his car, and it was an Uber driver. He was wondering why this guy was driving around. He got him out of his car, put him on his knees with a gun to him.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, it got really crazy. And then like everybody's like, dude, Frank, we'll just call him Frank. Like, this isn't Mad Max. This is just, like, this is a hurricane. We go through this, but like tensions have risen, right? And like people are like, things are a little bit wild, but we got Florida man crazy down here. So yeah, nobody leaves their shit running.
Bodie McFlorida face.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely, keeps the wackadoodles in check, right? When they know behind each car door could be a 9mm coming at you.
Straight up. And we're a red state. They tried to pass a constitutional carry like last week. Like all the sheriffs in like Central Florida are like, yeah, come through. We'll show you a good time. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa.
Well, that's Washington. We are not constitutional carry, but we're a shall issue concealed carry state.
What does that mean?
So the big Second Amendment thing is like shall issue versus may issue states. So shall issue states, basically all you have to do is show up and
fill the paperwork out. If you fill it out, they shall issue it.
They must issue.
You don't get to have an opinion.
They have to have a legitimate legal reason to not issue your license.
Like you failed the background check because you're not allowed to own a gun.
Yeah, like you beat the shit out of your wife all the time and you don't get a gun. Yeah.
But the trick is who you have to go get it to, and then can you get it to them? Because
where do you go?
I'm in the sheriff's station. I'm in unincorporated King County. I walked in, and you can get it from your local sheriff, and then it's a bit of a wait. It's about a month, or you want to drive down to Seattle, they'll hand it to you the same day.
We used to have like similar in New Hampshire. You had to go to your local police department. They was shall issue, and they had to answer you in 7 days or 10 days, and it was if they didn't, it was automatic. And it was only $10. Now it's the same. They still have the same permits, but you only need it for reciprocity because now we're a constitutional carrier.
Right.
And there was no blood in the streets when they passed constitutional carry.
You're in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's your secession thing going? I heard that passed a house thing or not a house thing, or what's the story?
Oh, really? I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So
I'm bad for that. Like I know that they just were gonna pass maybe we're finally maybe gonna catch up with the rest of the New England on cannabis. But I think Sununu is gonna veto it, but I think they have a veto-proof majority, which is interesting because we have a Republican majority. So New Hampshire Republicans are a weird breed. So Sununu is like fucking, I don't know, like a George Bush Republican, like the first one. And, he's got the long family, being whatever, like, because his dad was a senator or some shit. And
you mean a secret racist Nazi?
Probably. So, he's a good dude. He seems like a good dude, but like, he's standard Republican, right? But the rest of the Republicans in New Hampshire in the state house, it's like, it might as well be, just change the R to an L, like a little L, right? Yeah. Or big L. Is it big L that's more libertarian or whatever? Like the ones that like. The one that actually believes in government still.
So they keep pushing them a little bit.
No, the Democrats here shut down the idea of legal cannabis for years. And now we did Republican majority.
Money elites.
Yeah,
the commies.
We did. Yeah, I mean,
there's not two parties. Yeah. The two parties are the elites and then the rabble. Right. Yeah. That's essentially what's going on. And they just might call themselves Democrats or Republicans or whatever, but they're all in it for themselves.
And if they shut it down, it wasn't permanent. It was only until they could get their play set and buy the real estate where the farms were going to go and then let it through.
The weird thing in New Hampshire, though, is like even New Hampshire Democrats until just before Trump were a different kind of breed. Like I'm talking in the state, not the federal. The assholes we send to Washington, that's just, the same. But the state Democrats are like, they were normal until this, like maybe 8 years ago. And then all of a sudden they started trying to pass all these fucking weird gun laws and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're in New Hampshire. Like, what are you thinking? Like, that doesn't fly here. Like they went like almost woke all of a sudden. And the New Hampshire Republicans, like I said, are basically libertarians for the most part. And they're fine. They're not like, I'm not their biggest fan, but they're fine. Like it's a weird state. Like when it comes to local, we're the most represented state or whatever. Like when it comes to the state government, like
fewest number of votes needed to get in, right? To do something.
Well, like for each person, there's like, what's the ratio of people in the state house to citizenry is the best in the country. That's what I'm trying to say. That makes sense.
I always kind of doubted
like
the
10 to 1
project's potential, right? Because it was messing with the government, but it seems like they've got a head of steam going and are at least pushing. Like is there any proposals to do away with like entire departments of like make any of the government go away?
No, I don't think so. There's not a lot.
Version of bigger.
There's not a lot to get rid of here. I mean, we have our weird fucking agreements with the federal government to have like social welfare and stuff that like everybody has, right? But there's not much left. Like it's pretty lean, the state. Like the fish and game department is 100% funded, or it's like 93% funded by licensure, you know, and stuff, and like 7% funded by fines or whatever. There's zero other tax money that goes to that department, right? So there's not a whole lot to trim here, really. I mean, I'm sure us four could trim the fuck out of it, but like compared to standard America, there's not too much to trim, you know? I mean, I'm sure if we had our way, we'd be like, no more department education, no more fucking this, like teach your own kids, you know, whatever. But I think if the Free State Project can get enough traction, and they do have a lot of people in local positions, they could do a little better though, because there's people that run on a like unopposed a lot. You know, they keep getting a little more traction. Like there's one guy that calls himself a libertarian. He's a little older, that's in the state house, or the state reps. And then there's another guy that's pushing the cannabis thing that calls himself a Republican, but we all know he's really a libertarian, right? Because he'll tell you that. He'll tell you that. Yeah. The more of those they get, and then if they could ever get a governor, but that's probably where the fucking, you know, the CIA agents step in and thwart it, because them to get a libertarian governor would fuck up national politics, I think.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be great. And then I could see something like that happening, but that's a long ways away. So that's probably, you know, 10 to 20 years of vigilance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not big on elections and all of like the
Me either.
You know, democracy as it's like so much of a farce. It just makes me kind of puke in my mouth a little. I think though that there is value in understanding it and all of this, but like right now, I think people have woken up so much. There's a rainbow. People have woken up so much because of COVID and all of these politicians who are really out for themselves and part of the elite class or the ruling class instead of the people, whether it's Democrat or Republican, they're all the same beast at this point, and people are getting fed up. So there's a lot of never have done it befores who are like, I am at least have integrity, which is better than what's going on in there. And they're winning seats in the House and the Senate. And I don't know about the Senate, but you know, there's a huge grassroots movement going on right now of people taking back seats and just starting to, even at the school board level and stuff like that, county level. Do you think, Patty, I'm going to field you this question first and then we'll go around. Do you think it's worthwhile for people to be doing this? Do you think that is it worthwhile? Is there going to be good effect of it? Or is it just an effort in like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're at. So I have a couple people that are just kind of hunting me to run for school board right now.
Right.
Because I have all the letters after my name,
you
right?
could go rabble-rouse them.
Well, and that's so to what extent can you accelerate the demise of the thing? If you're really an agorist or you're really freedom-minded, if you could get in there and be like, okay, we're getting rid of this. We're not doing this anymore. Thank you very much.
Right.
I think that's worthwhile if you can get in there and do it. I think running for things like Senate seats, I don't think you can do anything there. But local, yeah, maybe.
That's interesting. I'm okay. What about you, John?
Oh, I thought we were going to go in a counterclockwise rotation.
No, we're just
so
they're not hitting the bump.
Caught me by surprise. Well, the first thing I wrote while she was saying it actually was it depends on where you are, right? I think if you're in downstate New York, you should get the fuck out, and I don't think you should try to change anything there because that place is a steaming pile of dog shit. And I can say that, as I say every week, because I'm from there. So I think it's so here, maybe, you know, and maybe where she is, maybe, like, I guess, right? Especially at such a small local level, like a school board, that could make some kind of an impact. But I wouldn't waste my time on it personally. But I, was 10 minutes late to this, so I don't have any fucking time anyway. So, but like if you have that kind of time, maybe, if you don't want to do other things, like maybe you're independently wealthy now and like, whatever, something constructive to do with your time, you can run for office. No, but I think that if you decide that's what you want to do, like, so I'll put myself in that position because I have actually entertained the thought of running for town office in this town because we have onerous property taxes in this town. And I constantly see new houses being built. And I go, every time they build a house that has $10,000 a year in property taxes, how come my property taxes don't go down commensurate with that extra $10,000? Right. And then your standard answer would be because they need more cops and firefighters. And I'm like, no, they don't. I don't see any more cops and firefighters than there were 10 years ago. So fuck you with that. And our school is a private school. They try to tell me, and it's not. But whatever. They tax the shit out of me for it, and they charge kids from other towns to go there. So I guess that means it's private somehow. But so that
so
was my
depends on like the efficacy of the community.
Yeah.
If the community is well put together, or if there's a lot of two-legged Muppet cows,
and that's more. It's that because anyway. But for my, I think you would have to get into it and do baby steps, right? So like what she said about getting in and starting to dismantle stuff from the inside is the goal 100%. Right. But I think you almost have to start where people understand it. Like, because if you just show up and you're like, I'm fucking canceling all this stuff, people are going to freak out. Right. They tried to close a fire station here and people lost their mind.
Right.
And then they had a special vote and everybody in town, except for me, voted to restore the fire department. And then I saw brand new Ford Explorer cop cars that same year. Okay, none of this makes any sense. But you got to start, I think, at Ron Paul, right? So you almost have to just start with something people can get their head around and people know who that guy is and understand kind of where he's like, I mean, your approach. So you start with, does that infringe on the Constitution or whatever, right? Or human rights, we can call it. And, no, we're not going to add to government. And then I think you have to, as you've been there, you have to kind of ease into, maybe we should take this away. And start with something small, maybe, where people don't lose their mind. Don't start by closing the police department.
Or even like, as if you are stuck in an HOA, maybe that's a good place. Like I just realized my neighborhood, I'm going on about how great it is. They have like a board meeting and they were looking for new board members. And I'm like, I should have done that. Right. Like, they want to put in fucking speed bumps. And I'm like, fuck no, I don't want speed bumps. Like,
I want to put in speed bumps.
Do you really? Fuck you.
Long story.
Okay, no, it's okay.
I'm going to paint 3-dimensional speed bumps, but just with paint, so they won't really be bumps. But if you don't know because you're not from here,
I like that. That's something I would do. It's probably a better alternative to me throwing fucking spark plugs at people blowing by my house at 75 miles an hour.
Oh, God. That's one thing. Like, yeah, we don't have that fast in here. But anyway, all right, Brian, your turn. Do you think it's worthwhile, or is it?
You got me thinking about speed bumps now. Oh, traffic control. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's the struggle, right? Like, God damn, dude, it's such a clear path if you're transparent and want to run shit for like actual benefit of humanity. It's so clear when people are on that path, right? Like, let's audit the Fed. Oh, the only person who could be against that was some fucking shyster that's hiding something. Seriously, like, how could you not? Okay, let's check and see if shit's there. So, like, such simple concepts. Toolman Tim the other day was saying in his little city, you don't pay your tax bill on your house. They don't give a shit. Your house will eventually sell because you're going to die. They'll get their money with interest. Everybody's happy. No collectors, no chasers, no fucking whatever. Live there, die, they get paid. All works, right? Because John gets paid to go sweep their steps or something, right? Because the old guy doesn't sweep his shit. So if they just build a house, onward, society works. Moving on. Less conflict, right? So there's tons of ways to do stuff if you look around and give a shit at all about making it work. So I don't know. I see like the guy in that little the truck driver dude back east. Me and people's names are horrible.
The guy in Jersey.
Yeah, whatever. A dude that works, right? And we can all like look up his background or call somebody on his friends list from Facebook that we know, like a friend of a friend, and go, hey, dude, what was this guy like in 4th grade? Like, Was he chasing tail around the kindergarten ground? What? Come on, a real story. Tell me a real human story about the person. Like, does he exist, or did he just all of a sudden at like 38, boom, blink into existence with $1 million and want to be your Congress guy? So, yeah. How do we keep the fucking spooks out? Somebody's got to do it. I don't know. Because I debate with it all the time. I would love to fucking kick my mayor's teeth in, and oh my god,
it's easy to say that, right? Like there are people that I'm like, but I wonder what their jobs would be like. It's easy to be like, yeah, screw that guy or that lady, you know, like why did they make that decision? Armchair, you know, quarterback.
Oh, because his cousin owns the landscaping company. That's why he made the decision. Follow the money. They're all fucking dirty and whores.
But then if you go and do the job, how difficult is it, right? Like what are you in? It does take work if you're going to do it right. And are you willing to do that?
Really.
Are enough people willing to
if you set the needle straight, right? Freedom, less government. Everyone in the fucking administration below me, that is the plan. Freedom, less government, always the answer. Only bring me fucking patients. You need me to think for you. Go.
So I started it. I did a city leadership program in Southern California. That's like a well-known leadership program, which kind of grooms you to run for city council or grooms you to run for, and then I ended up moving. But before I moved, I sat on the
Just lie until the election.
I know. So before I moved, I sat on the board of city of fire and building code appeals. So I sat on the appeal board. For, you know, somebody wants an easement or they want to do something a little outside of code. They ask city council says no, they appeal it to us, right? So I'm obnoxious and I read everything. Like I was always super prepped. And if it made sense and didn't put, because we were in fire territory big time, and didn't pose some like earthquake or fire hazard, I always said yes. It's your property. I see that your cool alternative sustainable building material isn't quite UL listed for this yet, but look, thanks for giving me all the studies. It looks good to me. Yes. And it was just clean. And I think it's just, if you get in there and just do it, the worst they're going to do is vote you out. I mean,
yeah. We've had enough freedom. Can we just go back to more rules?
And then when I left, like they still email me and they're like, "Oh my God, are you gonna move back? Because we have these board positions and we'd love for you to." And now they like, it's weird. Like if you just go in transparent and clear that you're about not getting in people's way, it worked in that town. And then you get critical mass if you can get enough people that operate that way. But it's getting critical mass, and now I think it's different because that was 2000 and
totally media blacked out. So the guy that last challenged our mayor, who was down as hell, he works in one of the big tech AIs way up there, gets what's going on, and wanted to spin this all backwards and liberate the city. As soon as he put his thing in to even run, holy shit. They dug shit up from 27 years ago of like unpaid tickets and stuff and ran him through the mud like nonstop in the little tiny media that we have and just blacked out everything. He couldn't respond on anything digital. And we're talking 100,000 person town, not a megalopolis, right?
It's dirty up here.
Yeah. We don't have the mafia out on the West Coast like they have back east to keep shit in check. So the mafia became the politicians are the mafia. It's just there's not families.
California's not like that. Washington is dirty in a way that I've never seen.
It's insane. Yeah, that guy ended up leaving the country.
Wow.
Yep. Someone's paying him all 7 figures to work on AI shit for them, not here, and he doesn't have to like help any of us improve the city. Not like we needed that brain around. Shit's going down.
You have to get critical mass. You got enough people doing it. And I don't know if that's possible. And I don't know if it's a good use of people's time who want to build communities and get out of the system and get out, so.
Yeah, you're almost better served just finding a place where you can build the community and ignore the government completely.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a good idea to choose. Look at the government wherever you're going, see how involved it is, see if it's too intrusive, or meets your needs. But a lot of people aren't in that option right now. And if Jack were here, he'd be like, "If you're in a city, get the F out." I've told you this for years, right? It's totally true. And there is a huge exodus right now of people going from, again, because COVID really was like a wake up. To a lot of people, it's like, oh, this really is kind of going off the rails, and we really do need to have a plan, right? Yeah. And it's important to kind of figure out where your communities are, if they're like-minded people. And here's a little gem that I learned. I feel like people are psychic, right? The majority of us are to some degree or another. Like the force moves through all things. People are now more psychic than they ever used to be, and that people are moving to areas that they know will be safer than other areas, instinctually, subconsciously. And I'm seeing it happen, and I'm looking at people, and I can kind of gauge whether they, depending upon how conscious they are about what's going on, whether they're going to be around in 5 years or not, right? And if you go to a place and you find that people aren't very conscious, really, really sit and consider whether you want to be there, right? Because there's a real good chance that it's not going to be a good place to be, 5-10 years from now. And where those people are who are growing their food, who are operating in communities like Patty and, getting their neighborhoods together, this is the kind of place that you want to be looking for and be gearing your lifestyle towards. If you have the opportunity to get out of the city, get out of the city. If you have the opportunity to get involved in communities like that, get involved in communities like that. Because even what I'm trying to do with Firon, I don't think that the system is going to survive the way it is now. I don't think we want it to. Right? I don't think it's going to be healthy for it to. So the way I kind of foresee everything going down, at least in relation to Firon or whatever, is we're going to get it built, established, and then everything's going to kind of start collapsing. And it's going to be like a place that people are going to need refuge in. And it's going to be touch and go for a while, but we'll be a cohort, if you will, of value-driven people all kind of going in the same direction.
Value for value. That's the deal. Value for value and free minds, free markets.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. Sorry, where are you going?
No, go down.
I thought you were digressing. No, well, my wife's family lives in one of the worst parts of New York State, really. I don't know if there's a good part, but tyrannical wise. And they're Republicans, whatever. They like to hunt. They're those people, and they just still live there. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why don't we all just get together and move somewhere? Right. I'll get out of New Hampshire. I don't care. I'm not.
All you have to do is nudge those guys a little bit, right? Because they want freedom for themselves. They just have to want freedom for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I was getting at was this. So Jack will be like, get out, get out, get out. But he's also the same guy that'll tell you that he moved back to Texas from Arkansas for family. And I can't get her family to move because her family's lived there for however many generations, and they all live there, and it's like, I'm like, I don't live where I grew up. I got the hell out. But, I thought he was trying to talk to the camera. It's like, so, I mean, there are reasons people stay in these awful places, is infuriating as it can be. But I think it's probably family's your number one reason that people aren't leaving these places. Those people maybe should try to fix it, I guess, but good luck fighting the whole government of New York State. So what our topic was East versus West, right? Or not first?
Yeah, just differences in
just in general, just in general. So what's it? I know you guys are both. How far apart are you two up there? Distance?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Same general area. You're close.
Yeah. Imagine a big giant mountain chain right off of a coast, right? So everybody's smashed into a little ribbon vertically, right?
Yep.
So I'm down by the water and she's up by the mountain, east, west.
Okay. You're a fair distance from a major city, though?
I'm exactly halfway between Seattle and Tacoma, and then Patty's out to the mountain.
So if you wanted to go
40 minutes, 45 minutes.
40 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty far away.
It is, yes.
From a major. So you don't really get any bad influence from that, really,
it's
right?
Not because we are both in King County, which is Seattle County. It's giant. Oh. It's half the west part of the state. It's every vote you need to win statewide election.
I gotcha. So like,
So if you just
my
buy all the
situation
Section 8
is,
in county, you won the state.
yeah, I'm 40 minutes from Boston, but I live in a different state. so,
See, yeah,
so I don't
that's
have that
still-
problem. Yeah.
Where Patty
So-
lives is out by the mountain. It was really rural, but it's still King County. So they're moving all the Section 8 government subsidized housing people out to the nature where the people 10 years ago went to buy the big houses and build their private public schools away from everybody, right?
Yeah.
They are just dumping those people into your neighborhood out there, Patty. And that just started this year.
Now,
Just started. So your town tripled in body count. And the tripling was all people who make no money and are on
and
the
shitty decisions when they vote, probably.
Yeah.
They will know everything. Like children coming to school, like that haven't eaten or bathed, and like their teachers aren't used to that, right? Because they were the teachers that were hired to teach the people who could afford to live on the outer ring up at the mountain kids. So now the county has brought it straight to you. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Interesting.
I got into it with the school because we had those snow days. And so I sent my son to school in his gear and change of clothes, whatever. And he got home and I said, "Oh, did you guys have fun playing in the snow on the playground?" And he said, "They didn't let us go outside." And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" They wouldn't let us play in it, Mama. And I said, "Hold on a second." So I went and I raised hell. And I was like, "You guys are idiots. You had them right back from winter break. You had like 4 inches, 5 inches of good snow out on this enormous 1 acre grass field. What better opportunity to do like physics with snow versus grass and like all kinds of STEM stuff?" And they said, "The kids don't have gear." So what do you mean the kids don't have gear?
Oh, the other one. Yeah.
The kids aren't waterproof, so we can't send them out because we'll have wet kids. I said, what? Yeah, they're just looking at me like, and also they don't want to deal with it. The teachers do not want to deal with it. They don't want to be a cool place to learn. They just want to have your kid do worksheets and shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird because like when I was when I was a kid, here we go. I mean, just expected, and that's the thing. It's not expected anymore. It's just it's expected that the government
take care of you. List. We're required to send that shit. Like it's not like they didn't tell everybody to do it. They just nobody does it.
Yeah, but government schools, it all goes to the least common denominator. It's I don't.
So for you though,
escape.
That was from were you in LA or where were you?
No, that was just last month.
I mean, no, like sorry, where you moved from?
Yeah, I was in Burbank, but it was beautiful downtown Burbank.
So this improvement to you.
Yeah.
Right. Still.
It's better.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly.
Yeah, that's funny. You went from concrete land to pine trees.
And then so X moved. You moved recently, right? X, you moved from.
Where? Yeah, well, in 2015, I moved from the farm expeditious retreat down here to Delray, and we just got a place here 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
We were renting, and then we got this backyard and this house and stuff. So
it's nice.
Yeah. So by the way, I have to get going, guys. My daughter actually prepared dinner, and everybody's inside.
Nice.
I'm like, when are you gonna come? So
go.
Yeah, much more important.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for having me. Bye, Patty. Nice meeting you. Officially. Bye.
See ya, X.
Firon.com.
Firon.com.
I didn't say it.
I'm on there. Are you guys on Firon? Do you have downloaded and all that stuff?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Really?
I am fucking like, I don't even know. It's social media I guess. I'm very adverse to social media right now. I have Telegram and I just don't have time.
Okay.
Anything else.
So you know how if you have a float channel, your float channel is
sorta
a Bitcoin address. It is. If you have a float account, you have a Bitcoin address. Look on the little star thing to the right of your name. Yeah. You send and receive. So the same thing is going to is happening inside Firon with his fire tokens.
Okay.
They are going to morph into a coin. So just having an account on there when things happen to get airdropped stuff into for later when it does monetize.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I opened a tab on my computer one day.
Yeah.
And I was going to do it. It was right next to something else I had to do, and I never got back to it. I just
squirrel.
I never get to sit in front of a computer and do shit, which I'm like 2 years behind on my taxes because I just am like, I got to do this, and then I get pulled away because there's going to be a snowstorm, which is hit twice in a week now. I just get like yanked away, which has been that's the difficulty of living in the Northeast. That's my issue with living in the Northeast. At least is I did some math the other day because we have a farm. And I work for myself, and we run delivery routes twice a week and all this. And I think I spend about 100 days a year doing shit because it's going to be cold or snowy. You know, like firewood, plowing snow, fixing a fucking tractor, just rearranging my schedule because it's going to snow. We have to do deliveries on a different day. That's what's happening this week. So I'm burning a day this week because it's going to snow on Friday. Now I'm going to do deliveries tomorrow. So I'm going to lose tomorrow as a work day other than deliveries. You know what I mean? Just all that shit. Installing heat like in my house because I'm not going to pay a guy to do something I can do like that, So it's just like if I add it all up, it's crazy. It's so much time. And I freaked out the other day and I looked at my wife and I went, some people don't live this way, right? They have all this time.
It's funny. I forgot what sociology class like the perfect human temperature. There's this place in Peru that's exactly at the right altitude where it's like always 68 degrees, like 68 to 72, never changes. And that it got me thinking way back then, why would you not live there? Like the time, it's always like perfect body condition. You spend no money or time making it hotter or colder. Think of all that time. Oh yeah.
All that time.
Yeah.
Even if it was hot, I can I put a fucking air conditioner in my house and move on.
Right.
I don't know. We have questions over here.
You deal with snow like crazy.
Yeah. Do you guys deal with rain or no?
Yeah, all
the time. But it's rain. I mean, if you built your house somewhere that it floods, then you're dumb. I don't know what to tell you if you build something.
It's so funny because it's so new out here, Dowie. All the East Coasters moved out and they brought all their East Coast trades with them. So everything got built out here from the 70s to the 90s. Everything like flat roofs, right?
Yeah.
It fucking rains all the time. Why would you put a pool above your head?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's the silliest thing. I mean, a 2-degree pitch roof, let the shit run off. Poof. So yeah, if you design, rain is in everything I do. I think about where am I going to put the water because a lot of it's coming. I could deal with it now, or I could wait for the problem and then deal with it.
Yeah, and a couple times a year, you're going to get a couple feet of snow for a week or two, and then it's going to melt. And what kills me is people want to they really want to shovel snow. It's cool because it only happens twice a year. And they're like, you got to shovel your snow. So these dumb fuckers shovel it. What do? They shovel it in the middle of the street and walk off the gutters and then flood the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
I live on a hill. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, you don't care.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, so all you little doobies there just blocked all the gutters and you flooded your own house. That is awesome.
So do you lose work days because of rain then though? Because to me it's okay, because to me it's how many outdoor work days do I lose? That's what I'm. Okay.
Yeah, how much do you want to get pissed on? Is more.
Well, I fucking hate the rain too. I get angry when it's raining. I get angry if it's not 75 and sunny, I guess is what I just got to here.
So Nevada.
Right? I just get why is it not perfect outside for me to do these things I want to do?
I keep saying that we need to free state Hawaii. And I'm not at all kidding about that. They need to, the native Hawaiians need to retake their government, and I'm happy to help if they will grant me asylum when they
want to.
Yeah.
there's something to be said about coastal living because the Pacific Ocean keeps us a very moderate temperature. The first thing I did when I bought this place was I threw an 800 square foot greenhouse on the back of it.
It's so cool.
Yeah, like as long as you have a dry place, like even a little bit of sun keeps the temperature pretty dang nice. So yeah, there's something to be said about, if they just leave you alone out here, it's not bad.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to interact with the government. Oh, get this. All the state of Washington licensing system for everything, Patty, down.
Is it?
Down
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
the last week. You can't get a real estate license. You can't get a beautician's license. You can't get any license. So anybody can do anything right now because you are going to get a license, but there is no way to interact with the state at all because all the offices are closed. FYI, just in case
Problem
you want
solved.
to start a venture, this would be the week. And then when they open back up, you're existing.
Right.
Well, just saying.
So we got.
Oh yeah, look at the questions. I'm so bad at that.
All right.
Should you want to start with? Should you move when you can or when you must? Want to start there?
You can when you can. Don't wait till you must. If you move when you must, you're gonna have shitty land choices, and you're gonna spend all your money, and you're gonna pay $1 bajillion for a U-Haul. Like
we won't be able to get a U-Haul. Yeah.
Or get a.
That's a thing. That's big right now.
Okay, for my land out there, I've kind of decided we're ready to put another person on if they have skills and are a decent human being. Meaning, you have to prove to me that you can exist independent of me or my place or anything. Like, show me a bank account with enough digits in it to pay rent for 5 years or so. Okay, bring your shit. Like, RV that's like less than 10 years old, or if you want to build an alternative structure, bring me a plan, and I'm going to look into who you are, and I'm going to talk to people that have known you for the last 10 years, and they're going to tell me whether I should let go of my place. So I figure on that 10 acres, I could have about 4, not permanent, because I'm never going to say permanent, to test guests to see if they will work out. But an industrial, like my vision is like some artist that makes like some like steel art or whatever, has a base, is existing, supports themselves, needs a place. Boom, permaculture camp. About with 10 acres, 4 families could blend in and not really hurt the disc golf course or the camping or any of the other shit. They, and if you want to live in an alternative structure, I'll help build you something. But yeah, like building community, like Hex was talking about. At some point, and the thing for running for office and all of it, right? At some point, we got to step up and just effing do it. So, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
It's out there.
I'm going to try and get that land out on this side of the mountain. We want to have one over there, but Brian's is going to be out by the ocean. Mine's going to be out by the mountain. We're going to have like 2 cooperative communities that can exchange. And we keep talking about this like freedom trail of campgrounds. So we'll have Brian's, we'll have mine. We've got some in Oregon already.
And if you are going to move because you have to or want to, or either way, the TSP Land Group on Telegram, Haley and Wayne have been hooking people up. They will search states for you because they are really good at it. If you tell them an idea of where you kind of want to live and a kind of be realistic, tell them what you got. I saw somebody the other day threw up like they had $3,000 and she still found them a place.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Then a shout out to the Lots Project.
They're on there.
Yeah. So my idea was I started looking for another piece of land too in a warmer place, right? Because we were just talking about how much energy you spend making yourself warm. And I'm like, if I could throw myself in a car and just go to the other place and then come back. So instead of me owning one more piece of land, what if I owned 1/10 of 10 pieces of land? Or I own that one outright, but 9 other people buy some type of equivalent, just camping land. And we all have like reciprocity. So that's what Brian's working on. Because it'd be so awesome to have 10 pieces of land to just go different places, whatever, bug out, go camping for extended, or just bug out for the winter and go south. Or maybe they want to come north for our super awesome summers or salmon run. So,
or they want to come up because we're having big like free ride jump events at Crystal Mountain, and they want to come in the winter, and they got a ski kid.
I see the Lots Project as a way of, okay, so maybe you want out, but you don't know where you want to go. Maybe you want 10 pieces instead of one piece, or the option to move around, or whatever. So just start thinking differently. There's people around in our communities that are really starting to put the pedal down and like be helpful.
Yeah.
What else we got? Any other good questions?
That's an interesting I don't know, because like I feel like you're West Coast, I'm East Coast. No one here wants to communally own land like that. It's a weird thing. Like we want to be like our own. Like
that's why I'm thinking like you own it.
It's so
right?
weird.
Like,
it's so different.
I own
and you're
my
like
piece, but I
super
agree
passionate
you
about
can
it.
camp.
Yeah,
right.
You're like super passionate about it, and I'm sure that like out there's a lot of people that want to do it. You know, and that's great. I'm like, you say all that, I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Oh no,
I want my own spot.
Communal ownership of land always ends up being a clusterfuck. There is a whole permaculture group trying to start that out in Port Townsend right now, and people that kind of come to me that are okay, there's your project. They exist. They're right there. Go to them. Like, I don't want people drama, right? That's why the whole lots thing where like you own your, like, this is my lot.
Yeah.
You get a lot. We'll agree that we can camp on each other's place. And if you're a dickhead, then I'm going to go, hey, Lots project manager, this guy's a dickhead. He left trash all over my place and like whatever, shot at my neighbors. Okay, probably the other owners are going to go, oh, is that like really happened? Okay, really happened. No, we just extend our invitation for you to trade with us.
Oh, okay.
You own your own lot. You own your lot. I own my lot. We just agree that as long as the director of the Lots project says you are a cool human being, or you do, it's got to be opt-in, right?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Voluntary, or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But a way to check on each other, like I care what my Airbnb rating is, right? So I'm extra nice and make sure like everything's super clean and like more than I promised them in my ad. So it would be the same way, because by me buying a lot, I know I have 10 lots, but I have to be on my good behavior if I want to. Because what did Jack say the other day about the whole new economic thing? What you're not going to own anything, you're going to fucking like it. Okay, same thing. How about we own a tenth of the things, but we all live like we own 10/10 of the things, because we can just cooperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, come camping on my place. Just don't leave trash. I mean, don't dump petrochems. Other than that, have at it.
I'm gonna check this out. I just opened a tab for the Lots project.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it right next to the Firon tab, and I'll get back to it in 6 months.
Don't forget Texas. Yeah, Texas too. I mean, that's totally gonna happen. I mean,
yeah.
I had a blast going to the workshop at Jack's.
I know.
Yes, go meet people in person. 100%.
Yeah, I've been all around Texas. Some, like, I shouldn't say all around. I've been Abilene to Fort Worth and a little bit off those paths. And I know there's other parts of Texas, like the Pines regions or whatever, right? The eastern part and stuff that's a little more like, so I bitched about the snow for 20 minutes, but now I'm like, nope, too hot. Too hot. Yeah. So, and that is a thing too. I'm just looking for that medium. I understand there's going to be an extreme at some point anywhere I go, unless I move to that place in Peru or wherever that was.
Wow, like outside of Phoenix, like up by Sedona, because remember, altitude can give you the temperature zone too.
Yeah, AZ Copperpenny brought up Arizona.
I love
stay out of Maricopa and Pima, I guess, but other than that, some place I can't pronounce.
Van lifers and retired folks.
One word I can't pronounce.
Okay, the van lifers and retired folks. If you go to foodforestfarms.com, there's a click through to my HIP camp, which is Camp Suniki. So HIP, anybody can camp on my place anytime right now. It exists. Just go click, stay. I think it's $19 a night.
I want to do that. Yeah, that's what you were the first person I heard talk about HIP camp, and I was like, oh, that's a possible exit strategy for me.
It's not a lot of money. I don't make a bunch of money on it, but it opens, right? If I'm not over there, even when I am over there and a HIP camper comes to stay, Yeah, it's fun. I'm like, hey, you want the wilderness experience, or you want the like come and hang out with us and party by the giant campfire experience? Either way, I don't care, right? It's 10 acres. How much can I fucking use at once? I'm just one me.
Yeah. Have either of you been to Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What's that like there?
You want to live there?
Too hot or?
Too hot. It's too hot. I did desert. I lived in Southern California for 20 years. I've no more desert.
I guess that's all the same desert, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I had gotten moved down there as a territory manager. So I decided that if I was going to live in the desert, I would learn how to live in the desert. So I didn't run my AC for the first like 9-10 months to like acclimate myself. You can do it. Built a house out there right in the middle of the serious boom on the north side of Phoenix. Crazy place. Stuff was going up. But the day before I moved in, I got transferred back to Seattle. So I got to learn from the year there that I don't want to live in the desert.
There you go. That's a year though. That's good exposure. I mean,
no, yeah. And the people are great. But if you observe while you are there, you will always find they run from their cars to their dwellings and they never are outside.
And they burn their hand on the doorknob.
Yeah, they just hide. It's always a matter of hiding.
Yeah.
So if I was going to go there again, I would build in like earth structure, something with some kick-ass windows and views where most of my living was going to be thought about in advance of being inside the dwelling. Because in the winter there, it's still cold. So just chilling out on your back porch, it's from the 50s and 60s, right? So it can get breezy. So yeah. Arizona is great. Just don't fall for the postcard version.
Yeah. Let me be clear about winter in New Hampshire. I just bitch about it because I run a farm. If you don't run a farm, and you're okay with the snow and being inside and just doing a little snow removal or paying a guy to plow your driveway, it's great. But I grew up in the snow belt of upstate New York and then moved here. And if I just like every time I see a snowflake now, I'm just angry. I'm just done with it.
And, because it means it's snowing on the mountain and it means there's going to be good powder to ski, and I'm happy.
There you go. I can't ski. They're too fat.
Well, Chris Pratt.
What happened to Bono or Bono? I'm not doing that. No, but I can't. Texas is interesting. I have family there, but like I can't. We have her family up here, and I can't go that far. So like for me, like even I look at Tennessee, and Tennessee's actually too far. It's tough. It's like she's very close with her family, so it's a tough balancing act. That kind of stuff. It's a family thing. Like I brought up with other people, they can't get out of the city because of family. I have to live in the freest state in the Northeast because of family.
Just design for the snow. How can you? How do you make it 10 times easier?
You still got to move it. You still got to spend a shitload of money on electricity to thaw water for ducks. You still, you know what I mean? All that. It's like, it's still, and it blows up days. Cause like I said, it's going to snow, 2 feet. And it's like, okay, there's a whole day gone and I don't have days to burn.
Are you doing rocket stove stuff at all?
No, I would love to have time to I have
Yeah,
I have 4 pallets of perlite.
That could really like change the game, because you could like on your day off, you could burn all day into a giant thermal battery, right? And then
I don't know, man.
Warm for you all week.
Maybe that was the idea. I don't think it would do that though. I mean, because we're talking like this month, we've had probably 20 days right around 0 or below. So I don't think a rocket stove is going to keep it thawed for more than a couple days. And then it's like, okay, so now I go from my daily maintenance being, let me run around and fill pools and blah, blah, blah. And ducks fucking splash all the water out. So you got to throw them either way. And then it turns into, let me go feed a whole bunch of rocket stoves. It's like, it's a great idea though. That was my original plan, was rocket stove in the duck pen with like, so it's 16 by 32, the overnight pen. Right, and I was going to go the whole 16 length with, cob or whatever, and build it. And I went to a class on how to build rocket stoves and learn how to do it, everything. And I still would love to do it just because I'd love to do it. Like it's, even if it was a total fucking failure, it would totally be worth figuring it out and doing it. And I sell barrels and I have 4 pallets of perlite and I live where there's clay and I buy hay for the birds. So I think I actually just have all this shit on hand.
You just need to have a workshop.
Yeah, I just need time.
Why don't you have Nicole run a workshop at your place?
Because I have 0.8 acres and there's nowhere to go. I'd have to be
camping.
It's really, and I have an angry dog. And that's actually the hang up. I could get around all the problems, but the fucking angry dog. And like, I don't trust her around everybody. And if you show up at my house and you're not a dog person, I have to like lock her out back. She's not right. She's been fucking wrong since she met me.
You guys, I swear.
We bonded immediately.
I'm scared of dogs, but I've learned how to. It's fine because I ride horses and stuff. Like I am totally scared of dogs, but I was sure that I was going to lose my face. Like I'm doing everything right, and oh my god, I'm going to lose my face.
They can sense it.
Yeah, I just knew it.
Yeah.
And they were both of them were totally fine.
Yeah.
And it's funny because by the end of the 4 days, both of them were taking turns coming over and being like, hey, I'm like, no, I'm not touching you. Yeah. That was probably, Rob.
There's Rob.
I do
Midwest
like the idea.
Is best. Oh, he's throwing shade on the coasts.
I do love the idea of a workshop, though. Where are you, Rob? You should have been on today, Mr. Midwest. Right. Should have showed up to represent.
I should have sent him the link. I thought about it, but then I figured he wasn't going to be out of work on time, and I didn't want to tease him.
Well, I think he just got in. So, but
yeah,
Midwest. What do we call Midwest? Are we talking like does Midwest? To me, Midwest starts where they start saying the word fucking pop instead of soda.
Yeah,
and it goes west until you hit a mountain range. That's what Midwest is to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a good friend that lives in Montana. And it seems like super free, but it seems like the fucking polar opposite of the weather that I'm looking for. It seems like I would just hate everything out there,
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jackson Hole and the whole ski tourism thing is fucking up their state. Like it's real bad.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's
shit.
Like Jackson Hole is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Jackson Hole's a hole.
Well, like it's not a hole. It's really, really nice if you can afford a 7-figure property to live in.
But you know what? Like where I live, when I first bought my house in New England, and people need to be aware of this too. Like New Hampshire's maybe one of the cheapest spots in New England, but I mean, I was looking at houses that would be $60,000 in upstate New York. Okay, which is a shithole, but still. And they were, $280,000. This is 10 years ago. And I would just be like, where the fuck do you people think you live? We don't live on the Florida Keys or something. This isn't vacation land. This is New England. Like, this kind of sucks. It snows 6 months a year. Like, but that's the real estate cost, probably because it's all packed in, it's only a certain amount of space out here. And I ended up getting an okay deal. But if you want to buy a house now, like my shitty little house, I bought it for $160,000. It's 0.8 acres. It's 1,200 square feet. There's no fucking basement. It's a fishing camp conversion, right? In the craziness a few months ago with the housing market, they were like, I was getting offers for $400,000. At which point I would have sold and got the fuck out, but my wife was pregnant. So, but on
the West Coast, we're getting like emails and calls and fucking solicited letters like every day. Like
you get a lot.
You got a buyer for your house. Like,
I bought my first house in beautiful downtown Burbank in 2008. It was 800 square feet on a 5,000 square foot lot, and I paid $420,000 for it.
Wow!
I sold it for $550. Somebody came in and because I was trying to remodel it, but they wouldn't give me a loan. So somebody came in and remodeled it for cash. They took it from 800 square feet to I think 1,500 square feet, and then they sold it for $1.3 million.
Oh yeah! Wow! Fucking A.
Talk about the one that got away. Like
that's brutal. That's brutal.
And my agent was like, "Ha! Look how much money they made." I'm like, "Can you not send that shit to me? Like, please."
I mean, at least I can understand the pricing there in a way. Like, I know it's fucking horrific right now in California, but like, if it didn't, if politically it didn't suck as a whole, it would be a fantastic place.
Absolutely.
Like, right? Weather's fucking great. You get an earthquake here and there, I guess, but like,
not bad. I mean,
who cares?
So if you can wait out the storm that's coming, and you're already on the coast in a great spot. You bought in right when Bitcoin was $100.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm buying this stupid ass house. I mean,
I've always gone to the shittiest part of town to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like I bought my place down right across from the marina when they were just closing the XXX drive-in, and it was pretty much crack central down there in the late 80s, early 90s.
So you missed all the fun.
You buy at the end of it, right? Right as they're running the shit out, right? And okay, there's some rumblings about cleaning up. Boom. That's when you get in. So
yeah,
you want to make money in real Dowie, you know this. Making money in the anything is about the buy. Then it makes the sell fucking irrelevant. Because if you want to just dump it, you make your money back. If you want to sell it, you make money.
Yeah, I always keep an eye on my shitty hometown. You could buy a house there for, I don't know, like a decent house for like 60 grand still. Like my brother's looking for a house right now. And
if you had a good management company like out here, you can just go back there and buy 5 of them, right?
Yeah, and that's what I
get an Airstream and move to the desert.
Yeah, I think about doing it. I go, so my brother lives in a place, and the owner just passed away, and it's a weird situation and whatever. And I could probably buy that and turn it into 3 apartments and this and that. It sounds like it sounds fantastic, right? Everything I'm saying right now sounds great. Then you go to Oswego, New York, and you're there, stay there for 48 hours in January, and try not to blow your fucking brains out because it's the worst place ever. The people are assholes, not as a whole, but like in general. Like you're in a store and you smile and say hi to somebody and they fucking sneer at you. You know what I mean? And then like it's like there's a lot of scumminess there because anybody productive is left in the last 30 years. And looking at me, right? Like Hillary Clinton did the famous speech in Syracuse. I'm going to bring your children back home. And I'm just like, my parents were all excited about that shit. And I was like, I ain't fucking going back there. First of all, because 9 feet of snow. But second of all, because the economy is a dumpster fire and it's full of meth, you know? So,
but the meth, it will wash itself out. It will.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're getting at is like when I keep an eye on that and it's been bad for 40 years. I mean, when's it going to turn? It's like almost like looking at Detroit and waiting for that place to turn, you know?
Yeah. At some point you just, I graduated Michigan State. Got the fuck out.
Isn't that Tom Brady's school?
Yeah, you know what? And then Chicago, I lived by Caprini Green, right, which was like the biggest housing project there ever was.
The West Coast numbers are I mean, they're not getting better. This dumb house, which is a 3-bedroom house, it's like 2,300 square feet on a lot that's 2,300. It's not 2,300 square feet. My lot's like 5,000 square feet.
It's HOA hell.
An HOA, a shitty HOA.
Where you are now?
Sorry. Yeah, where I'm now. It's shitty HOA, but we're gonna take it over. It's all right. So this house is appraising for $750,000.
Sell and go. No.
Well, no, I don't own it yet. So I have an option. These never work out. Whether you get this, you lease it and you get an option to purchase. My option to purchase is $605,000. So I'm buying it.
Oh, you're on. Yeah.
Exercise the option. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to exercise my option.
Oh, okay.
And then flip the fucker.
Yeah, flip it quick and make.
Yeah. Or the other thing I might do is just use the equity to buy my recreational land. And then I don't have to deal with, because they'll give you a line of credit. They don't care what you do with it.
That's what I'm looking at, kind of.
But Dowie, buy multifamily house.
Right now for me, it's how do I finance the building of a grow room that's going to go underground under my deck behind my house. Long story on why that my existing basement would cost double the money to make that work.
These are hard.
Makes no sense. But because it's already there and they're going to excavate it out and all this shit. Yeah. But it's half the price to move my deck and dig a fucking 40 by 20 foot hole and pour a new foundation and a knee wall and put a deck back over it. Right. So that's where my equity is going to go. And then it's an interesting thing. There's addition possibilities there. And then it's used the money coming in that I'm saving. Sorry, Brian, the no brainer is, I pay about $1,000 a month to lease this room I'm in right now. Okay. and the mortgage increase to build that building I just said would be about $150 a month. So I immediately save $800, and then I take that money and buy property somewhere else.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah.
What if you find a duplex or a triplex where the owner one suite is nice and there's some awesome farming or big giant shop or something that your business could just move into?
Yeah.
Free rent from yourself, and you can wrap it all into one mortgage. That's what, when I bought this place, I bought a multifamily on purpose that I could put an 800 square foot greenhouse and then have another 400 square foot thing.
Yeah.
So I could wrap it all into one mortgage. Renters pay more than their share. Right. So
that's a good idea.
Land paid for itself, and it
McDonald's doesn't sell burgers. They're a real estate company.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
Just because you know what? Sometimes, like if you just because you're attached to it because you're there, if you just open up to the chuck it, move, boom, new shiny. There's no type 1 errors, right? You get to walk away from them all. The next buyer who doesn't even know their errors, have fun.
The problem with my house, it's I hate it. The piece of property is fucking beautiful. Like there's the west borders a river that's like full of birds and shit all the time, and like the neighbor's great. It's like surrounded by swamp.
The house, that's fixable.
The house is like not. If you wanted to put more than $100,000 into this house, it's like no, just bulldoze it and start over.
Well, I mean, eventually you just bulldoze it, say fuck it, and
yeah. The market will get so crazy at some point that it will be able. You're right. It just
it is now.
It is now.
Yeah, but I don't have mobile income. That's my other hang up.
Right.
Yeah. See, I do. I can work anywhere.
Yeah. See, that's
I can leave.
You got clients and in-laws, right? You got to just draw a circle and start looking in the entire circle.
Yeah, and it's can I pick up the whole microgreens business and go to another city and just start over, and like what's the money that it takes to fill that gap, and all those
moving
things.
And the to do yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm married to somebody who can't move. So the problem is that electricians make so much goddamn money here in King County. If we were to move to like Texas, he would take a 50% pay cut.
Yeah, but it might cost 50% less to live.
It does not. It costs 50% less. No.
That's fair. Yeah.
I did that spreadsheet.
Okay.
No. It is not 50. Not where I would want to live.
What's your freedom worth? No.
Not when you got show horses.
Bottom line, like freedom's real hard to come by when you don't have money. So,
you're into horses. You might like it here. You should buy my house.
Oh yeah, hunters.
You'd have to have a different place for horses because you're not putting them on
horses.
There's what's that?
What kind of horses?
Oh, I would never own a horse because I
would never have a horse on my property ever.
Oh yeah, I mean if horses start laying eggs, I'll buy them. But no, like there's a shitload of that around here, like tons of it. There's some really old people real close to me that have like one of the most beautiful piece of property, 2 sides of the road, and they used to board race horses up here, and I think they still do.
East Coast is big money horses, and I cannot play in that pool.
Yeah, that's what this is.
I am not spending.
All they do is own the farm and board them, and they must make a shitload because like they look like they live pretty comfortably, and they're still doing it, and they're like 80.
Race horses are money.
Yeah.
Big money.
Cool, man. Hey, I gotta wrap up myself.
Yeah. Let's wrap up.
I gotta water this shit.
All right, John. Where do we find you?
DowieFarm.com, I guess, or you can find me maybe on television. I don't know. I'm hard to find, but I'm not.
I'm hard to find unless online. You want microgreens, and then just
I'm hard to find online.
Mafia.
If you come at me online though, and you want to talk shit, I just go, I'm not fucking hard to find. but no, I mean I'm not online much. I'm at Dowie Farm. You can reach me there. That's like my cell number is on there. I'm not really on social media anymore anywhere. I just haven't had time to really deal with it.
Go do real shit.
Yeah. I shut it down a year ago. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah. Patty, what do you got going?
You can find me at thesquatchbomb.com. BALM. Yeah. Right
and there's mine right there.
Nice.
I've got thesquatchbomb.com, and I'm 15 hand stuff everywhere. I'm easy to find. I'm on everything. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Food Forest Farms. Come stay with us if you're going to visit the Northwest. Camp at Camp Suniki. Stay in the Airbnb. Come learn how to roast coffee. Whatever.
I want to do
Be
that.
a guest on the show. How about that? In studio Wednesday guest on my Scrambling University. Come teach us something.
Now, Scrambling University is about the cannabis, correct?
No, it's about everything.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was like mostly about that.
I did economics one day. I did
Okay.
Bitcoin from block 1 of the spreadsheet. Interactive, whatever people ask me questions about.
Say I should come on because I've never partaken in my life.
Oh, good. Hey, we should do an
Give me that guy.
experiment show. Hold on. Okay, we'll talk offline.
Yeah,
What's this?
So we have a thing out here at the comedy shop down in Tacoma. You know how they do drunk nights where they'll do shots or whatever, then do a set, then do 3 more shots, and
Yep.
We have stoned comic nights where they literally they'll do a set straight, and then they'll go outside and rip the fucking the oils that are 90% THC.
Wow.
If you're from the Midwest and you never got high, good luck. And then the comics got to try to do their second set, just insane stoned. So you can tell who the East Coast and the Midwest comics are by the end of the night.
I was gonna say in Boston it's a whole different. They're not smoking pot, it's Coke. But
that's the whole East Coast versus West Coast. We're chill.
We're all fucking piss all the time. Yeah,
just like that. Yeah.
I love me some Boston comedy though. It's great.
It's awesome.
You were like they go up and they do a set stone, and I'm like, so it's just comedy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but then they have to do a straight set. I'm like, oh, that's the difference.
yeah, that's the exact.
You get to see shitty comedy, and then you get to see good comedy.
On the East Coast, that would be they do a straight set, and then they go outside and do a line, and then they come in and do another set.
They get a bottle of
Louis C.K.
They get a bottle of Johnny Red and chase it down with an 8-ball.
That's right.
Oh, East Coast. Okay, all right. I guess we should honk ourselves out.
Yeah,
See
man.
you guys.
Honk, honk.
Honk, honk, honk.